seems pretty awesome.
All right, so why don't we start down the panel, just introduce yourselves and, go ahead.
All right. My name is Brittany Karbowski. I have done quite a few roles in anime and other kinds of acting things. And I guess some more known ones would be Soul Eater, Black Star, Alchemist Pride, all kinds of other ones. There's so many. They're so fun. Music.
Wendy!
Yes, Wendy. Wendy?
Carla!
Heavens, child! You can't even remember your name! I'm so sorry, Carla! Hey guys! I'm Jad Saxton. I play Carla in Fairy Tail.
Yeah!
I play Kana in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Yeah. And some other stuff. Yeah. Oh, Hachin and Michiko and Hachin. Yeah.
So I'm Monica Rial, and yes, I play Michiko and Hachin. I'm also Tsubaki to Brittany's Black Star. I am Froppy and My Hero. Take it, that's a big show. And I'm also, this might hurt, I'm also Bulma in the Dragon Ball franchise. And I have a super exciting announcement that was just made last week, and I'm totally stoked, and so I'm going to share with you guys. So I'm in a new show from Rooster Teeth called Genlock, and I get to boss around Michael B. Jordan. I don't know if I'll ever get to actually meet him, but I'm just really stoked about that part.
All right, so we have a microphone down here. If you guys want to ask questions, go ahead and line up behind that mic. But as they're lining up, how about we talk about how you got started in this?
Well, mine kind of leads into yours-ish. So Brittany and I were both theater actors in Houston, and I kind of started, it was an accident. I was a theater actor, and there was an audition, and I went, and bam, magic happened. And then Brittany and I, many years later, were doing a production of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Brittany was Janet, and I was Eddie and Dr. Scott. And one of our directors came to watch us, and he was like, "Who's that girl? She should be in anime." And she was a star. Sorry, I totally told your story for you.
That was actually a better version. I think mine takes forever. That's what happened, and it was really cool. She was an awesome Eddie Dr. Scott, y'all.
I would have liked to see that show. That would have been really cool. Yeah. I also was doing theater not in Houston, but in Dallas, and just through kind of networking stuff, I got an audition for another voice actor who was directing at the time, named Leah Clark, and went from there. Yeah. Theater. Magic.
All right, I guess we have a question.
Which character that you voice act did you have the most fun with? Also, can I have a hug, please?
I don't know how I could get down there. That seems...
You might have to come up here, because these ladies have on heels.
I'm afraid to get off of the chair too many times.
And then, in the meanwhile, do you guys have a favorite? Or the one that was the most fun?
I answer this question differently every time because favorites are hard, but I really like doing Nona in Death Parade. I really like doing that show a lot.
Hi. I know it's hard, right?
Every time you're doing a show, you're doing lots of shows.
Right.
And you have a favorite of those shows. And your next favorite, the next time you do a group of shows, it doesn't really trump the other one. It's like choosing between your pets or your kids or something. You love them in different ways for different reasons. And I know that's like kind of like a get out of jail free card, but it's hard to choose. I like them all, you know?
I have a question for you guys. What was the hardest voice for you guys to do? Also, I would like a hug.
I'm sensing a trend, which we might have to kibosh.
Yeah, we might have to like cut the hugs off because we have so many people asking questions.
But you can buy at the table. For hearts, I mean, I guess For me, it depends. Like, if you're talking about like as an actor, which one was difficult? There was a show called Noir way back when. Okay, one guy's like, yeah. I see you and I respect you. But that was a really hard show because my character didn't say a whole lot and I had to communicate a lot with just noises. But as far as like what's vocally difficult, I play a character in a video game called Tales of Berseria called Bienfu! And Bienfu talks like this! And so after a while, this is fine, but when you do it for 8 hours straight, it starts to hurt a little bit.
A little bit like Timmy from Fairly Odd Parents. A little bit.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this the other day, but I'll mention it again because it was vocally the most challenging for me was a show called Toriko. I played a tiny penguin named Yoon who, it wasn't super gravelly like that, but it was just up so high and like squeezing my vocal cords, like really squeaky and high for long periods of time. Like even trying to do it now is like, why? Why did I ever do that? Yeah, it was like, you know, when you blow up a balloon and then you pull the ends of the balloon apart and that noise that happens, that's what it sounded like and that's what it felt like in my vocal cords. Cool.
Let's see, vocally difficult, sometimes the boy, not the higher boy characters, but like the Black Star type ones are a little bit more difficult because if you do them for a long period of time, it hurts, you know. But I'd say fun, let's think. I don't know, I always have fun. I don't ever go in the booth and not have fun, and I'm always happy to be there and excited and having fun. I had a lot of fun with Miki. Let's see, and then, oh wait, it wasn't fun, it was challenging. My brain is fried, sorry y'all. Challenging. Icarus from Heaven's Lost Property was pretty challenging because I have kind of a colorful voice and she was supposed to be emotionless. So I mean, we had a lot of take 2, take 3, take 10 on things because it was just too much, you know? So it was hard to dial it back, and then actually at some point she starts to gain emotion. So I had to figure out a way to gain emotion but not go full Brittany. So that was difficult, and it was really fun because I got to do it with Bevins. So it was a, you know, a treat though.
Not go full Britney.
Yeah.
Don't ever go full Britney.
Just half. Never go full.
Hi. I was wondering if, like, what the best bomb left for you guys in the pool was, like, if there was one.
Mine was from Brittany, and it's rated R.
So rated R.
And I felt it was well deserved because, you know, Carla can be a lot to deal with. Yeah, she just one day, like, I was saying a line and she had already recorded before me, and she just said, "Stupid effing cat," like, but in the Wendy voice and not effing, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I deserve that. Yeah, sure, yeah.
I think for me, working with Chris Sabat, who plays Vegeta and a million other characters, that's always fun, and we've been friends for a very long time, so it's kind of fun to mess with each other in the booth. But we did a show called Yoon of the Dawn, that he played my love interest, Son Hawk. And there's a scene with some honey in it. If anybody's seen it, you know what I'm talking about. That's all we need to say. And I guess he thought it was just as awkward as I did, because he's like licking honey off of her fingers, and it's very strange. He decided to sing a rap song in the middle of this really ridiculous scene, and so instead of it being like this really awkward thing, it's him singing about Barbara, who's got a big old butt. Barbara got a big old butt, and I was like, what are you doing? It made it easier though, because it's like, well, at least I'm laughing and not feeling totally uncomfortable.
What about you, Brittany?
Bombs. Okay, I don't even know if this show ever came out, honestly. There was a show that we did called Mermaid Melody, Pitchy Pitchy Pitch, at old ADV. I don't think it ever got out. It was pretty cool. It was like 3 mermaids and they sing. Well, there was Taro, which was played by Greg Ayers, and he like plays the piano and it's really dramatic, and there's a super long drawn out scene where my character is just in love with him, and he made like a really long fart, and I think it might have been a real fart because it was very good. And it just went under the whole thing, and then right when it was done, it went and he had like a blushing moment. It was so perfectly timed. I think farts are always my favorite bombs. Like right when people are about to kiss, like the bubbles and then the
Noted, I will remember this.
fart bombs. I love fart bombs.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish I had known that from Made in the Abyss, man. How inappropriate would that have been?
It would have been perfect. You just gotta break that pain that you're feeling inside for that one.
Hi. So you're all characters in fairy tale. So besides your own character, who's your favorite?
My answer is always Mary Jane. I actually really like Mary Jane as a character. I like her conflict and stuff.
I mean, that's what's hard, is like I tell people, Mary Jane is the gift that keeps on giving, because every time you think she's got all the voices she could possibly have, she gets another form, and I have to come up with another voice. So yeah, Mary Jane's pretty rad. Although, I don't know, I think Wendy's fun, but if I was gonna if I was gonna go to the other side, I'd probably want to be like Spike. Or Loxus, or somebody that's like, just to be like a dude. Because I would never get cast as that, but in my head, I'd be awesome at it.
Yeah, my favorite. I might have just, okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everyone calm down. Okay. I love Panther Lily a lot. I love Lily. Happy's great, but just come on, listen to that Panther Lily voice. It's great, yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, so here's an interesting question. So, how is important with working with women, especially in the anime industry, especially that women are an important role in the workforce, and since, you know, and investing about anime is that you do have to hire women to voice female anime characters. So, what do you think, and how do you think it's actually beneficial for women to actually voice an anime?
I think like when we started, now granted I started voice acting 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, I know, I look so young, right? No, 20 years ago, the roles were very different. 20 years ago, it was a lot of women being saved. You might have a female captain every once in a while, but it was very much like the dudes are the main characters and the girls just, you know, are saved, or they're all whimsical damsels in distress. And it started to slowly change with shows like Noir and Princess Nine and things like that, Excel Saga, where the women were starting to come into the forefront. But now, I mean, like if you look at the way that Super is done, even in comparison to Dragon Ball Z, everybody's afraid of Bulma. The destroyer, like the freaking destroyer of worlds is afraid of Bulma, not Vegeta, not Goku. So I think that what's really cool is we're seeing more shows come out, and we're seeing female characters get stronger over the years. And shows like Yona of the Dawn and Dragon Maid and all these shows that are very female-centric, and they're strong female characters, and I think that that's awesome. That's a nice change. Agree?
Hello?
It's us!
Okay, I have a question for all three of you. Answer however you want. And Monica, you already know what's up, I gotta ask anyway. Now, in case you guys haven't really noticed this or not, there are a lot of Facebook fan groups as of late, so how do each of you actually feel about that?
I should preface this with, this is Taj Mitchell, everyone. If you go to the fans of Monica Rial on Facebook, he is my head moderator. He's the one that makes sure you don't see any bots or porn. Thank you, Taj. So yeah, he's basically asking about like Facebook fan groups and all that, and how do you feel? I mean, there's some, like I know, like I'm one of the moderators in mine, and so I have kind of a say in what's going on, but do you guys have like Facebook fan groups, and how do you interact with them?
Yeah, and I've also met at a convention the person who kind of started it, and I'm a moderator on mine as well. And I mean, he always runs a really clean page and a really fun page and does contests. So I mean, I'm down with that. I don't know about any other ones that are not like kind of sanctioned by me or like or not have permission by me. So I'm cool with it. It's fine by me.
I only know of one. It's the Fantasy Ninjas one. But yeah, I'm totally down with it. It's nice. It's a nice place for everybody to go and talk anime and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I need to know. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Ladies?
Hi.
Quick question for Monica Rial. Earlier this week, I've been discovering this new anime called Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card. And a couple of days ago, I also read on the internet that the voice for Sakura in the dub is voiced by you. So I have two quick questions. The first one is, can you do the voice really quickly? Or is it
Yes. I'm trying to think of what Sakura would say in this moment. Hi everyone. I'm so excited to be at Florida Supercon. Is Shauron here? Oh, I love Shauron so much, you guys. That's my Sakura.
That's brilliant. My hat goes off to you, Mr. Dolphin. Brilliant. And the second question is, how did you get to become Sakura?
Well, it all started about 10 years ago. There was a show called Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, which is also by Clamp. And so I played Sakura, and Jason Liebrecht played Shauron in that show, and we got so attached to those characters, and I absolutely fell in love with Sakura. He fell in love with Shauron. So then when we heard that ClearCard was coming and that Funimation had it, we both kind of figured out, okay, we're probably not going to be in it because it's a different universe. They're probably going to want to use different actors, and that's totally fine or whatever. And then when Caitlin Glass, the director, called us and said, look, I think it'd be really cool to kind of pay homage to Tsubasa, even though it's a different universe and everything, I'd like to use you and Jason just with the understanding that it's not the same Sakura and Shauron you saw in Tsubasa, but at least that way there's some tie-over for the fans, because a lot of people got really attached to Sakura and Shauron in Tsubasa, so it was kind of nice to be able to. I actually cried in the grocery store, y'all, when I got the call. I was like, Sakura! So, yeah, great.
Well, the voice is just brilliant, and I'm very excited to buy the Blu-ray when it comes out. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much.
My question is for all three of you. Other than the animes that you've been in, what is your favorite anime?
Okay, so my favorite anime movie of all time, and it's really creepy. So how old are you?
I'm only 11.
Yeah, don't watch it yet. It's really creepy. Who here has seen A Perfect Blue? Oh, right? It's creepy. It'll give you nightmares. But I will tell you that that to me is one of the coolest anime that I've ever seen. And I know it's a movie, so it's kind of cheating, but I really like Perfect Blue. Just choose from the millions out there.
I know. I gotta be honest with you, and y'all can probably vouch for me a little bit, that like we do this a lot, and I, as an ADR director, do it all day long now, and I don't get to watch a lot of stuff that like I'm not already involved in. So I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you. Maybe Attack on Titan?
Has anyone here seen Cat Soup? Cat Soup. That's it. That's it. It's like Fantasia meets like people trying to eat cats, but it doesn't happen. It's really crazy, and I love it. That's it. Cat Soup.
Have you guys listened to any of the fairy tale songs? And which one's your favorite?
I sang one. That was fun. I sang the Coming Home song at the Guild when everybody comes back and she gets on stage and Mary Jane sings that song. That was actually me.
Oh yeah.
But here's a funny little bit of trivia. I had gallbladder issues, and I was trying really hard to keep from going into the hospital. So I was trying to I'm gonna power through it. It's fine. I'm gonna keep my gallbladder. So the whole time I was singing that song, I was in front of the microphone, digging the water bottle into my gut to make it not hurt. And I'm like, I'm gonna sing pretty like Mary Jane. So poor Green, I was like, can we do that again with less pain? So that one's my favorite. I do like the very Celtic songs too.
That's my answer too. I love all the Irish music in that show. It's really
Fun. Makes you want to go out and beat up people.
I thought you were gonna say like step dance. No, it inspires violence, Monica. So.
So here's a question you probably get asked a lot. Whenever you voice act and then go back to watch, say, for Jad, DXD, or the two of you, Certain Magical Index, do you ever feel an awkward or confused about it because of how your character's situations can unfold? And
I mean, I think with Index, the only thing that I'm ever bitter about is that this girl over here gets to be all up in my show. But then in her show, I like go get a soda, and that's all you see of Index for 12 episodes. Meanwhile, Mizuki's like, oh no, I'll open a certain magical Index. I'm like, this is my show. Go back to your show. But no, I mean, I love the show, and I'm super excited that there's another season. You know, I'm totally okay with if you're in it. It's fine. What else? What did you say? What was the show that you said?
Oh, I'm also on Index too. So yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I when I go back and watch, if that's what you're asking, I always just enjoy the other actors' performances. Like that's always really fun for me. I've seen what I've done, so I'm like, if I had an uncomfortable moment, it happened when I was recording it. It's mostly just fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to see because we record individually, so you only know what you've done and maybe the one person that's in there before you. So it is kind of fun to go back and hear what everybody else did around you.
Yeah, there's like a lot of when your friends are so talented, it's kind of cool when you get to listen to them. You're like, dang, go Monica, go Jade, that's awesome. Like, so that is kind of cool. I feel like more I'm a cheerleader when I watch it, but it's also kind of hard to watch and like get into because you know who they are. You know what I mean? You're like everybody. You're like, hi, Chris Abbott, hi, Monica. You know, so it's almost like that person's personality somehow leads into the character for you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello. So this is for you, Monica. My buddy actually started me on anime, and he said My Hero Academia is probably the best one to start out on. I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Never watched one in my life.
You've never watched any anime, and that was your starter?
Not until I watched My Hero. I kind of started it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and
welcome.
Thank you. And I found out that you voiced Proppy, and one of my favorite characters. And they're actually Funko is releasing like a pop of it. And obviously, that's going to answer my question. Are you going to pick one up for yourself? And how do you feel about seeing your character coming to like tangible things that you can actually see and like see the detail of?
I'm so excited. I was telling somebody this earlier, and I feel like I totally lucked out, and I feel so bad for Brina, because Colleen is one of my good friends, and when we were auditioning for My Hero Academia, she's like, man, I can't choose between you and Brina. You both did such a good job for Suyu and Mineta. I can't choose which one's gonna be which. And I was like, when I finally got the call that I was Suyu, I'm like, sorry, Brina, you get to be the perv. Although I love Brina's Mineta, I think it's hilarious. I'm super stoked to have a Suyu pop. I will probably buy a ton of them and then put them all over my house. Oh, mine. I just love the character, and I'm so happy that the character, that you guys love the character as much, because really, I would talk to Colleen, and I'm like, I don't really do that much. Like, I kind of just, every once in a while, I say something really bad about Bakugo, you know? Like, I'll make fun of him. And then every once in a while, I'll say, and then that's pretty much it. So I was like, why does everybody love her so much? I mean, I think it's great. And then she got her own episode, which was not canon, but it's still super fun. She is best girl, thank you. But I love her very much, so I'm very happy that you guys love her too, because she's awesome.
Thank you so much.
I don't know how many questions I can ask, so I just narrowed it down to 3. if I get going, I won't stop. A quick question though. You've voiced Mira Jane as well as you voiced Bulma, and obviously you voiced Chris Sabat multiple times. So what's it like transitioning from being married from Dragon Ball Z to being brother and sister in Fairy Tail? Is it just like funny or like awkward kind of in a way? Or?
It's pretty funny. I mean, Chris and I have been in these circles where, you know, he'll be my butler, and then he'll be my husband, and then he'll be my son, and then he's my pig or dog in Kino's Journey. So it's like, we've been so many relationships, you kind of like, the shock is over at this point. There was one time where it really weirded me out with David Matrenga. We had finished Watamote, and he played my brother in Watamote, and right after that, we went into Maid-sama. And in Maid-sama, he plays my love interest. So I had to go from hearing David's voice and being like, okay, that's my brother, to, okay, he's hot. I still have residual brother feelings. So that was the only time it got weird, but usually, like, it's funny if you think, even with us on stage, like, all of the different, like, if we all wrote it out, it would sound like a really, really sordid soap opera, you know?
Also, second question. Fairy Tale, I know it came to an end for a little bit, and then the second movie came out, Dragon Cry. What was it like being able to come back together to film a movie after like being off air for a year or so?
Loved it. I really loved Dragon Cry. I just thought it was awesome. Really, it's some of my favorites. I tell everybody that comes up, like, have you seen it? You need to go see it, but you're gonna cry, so just have some tissues. But it is, yeah.
It was really cool. I mean, crazy stuff happened for Carla in Dragon Cry. Unexpected things. Yeah, I really liked it. I got to go to that premiere, which was really fun, which is always really cool when you get to do like a kind of actual movie premiere and see it in the theater. So that was really cool.
Okay. And then last question, I promise. What's it like when you see your character? So say like for instance with Wendy, she unlocks the Dragon Force, and then sometimes you just wonder why haven't you used this yet? Like in certain fights, like for instance, like with the tournament, there's different things. Same thing with Mira Jane. Just sometimes you wonder like, why didn't you just go like the strongest demigod mode first, compared to just getting your butt handed to you and then unlocking it?
Well, I think with Mira Jane, this is why I'm so excited about the next season. I don't know what it brings, but I feel like with Mira Jane, what's happening in the Fairy Tale Guild is everybody's keeping her calm. Like, because they kind of know, like, when they asked Hiro Mashima who would win in a fight, Urza or Mira Jane, and he said Mira Jane. So I kind of feel like they're trying to keep the top on that pot before it explodes. And so I feel like if she were to go full on in her S-wizard form, she might actually turn bad. So do a Vegeta, you know? And I don't want her to do that. So I think it's interesting to see what happens, but I think she's trying to keep herself calm. What about Wendy? Why doesn't she use her power just like, whoosh?
I don't think Wendy maybe realized she had it yet. Because she starts out so not confident in herself. You know, she's very powerful, but all she's doing is apologizing and saying sorry all the time. And Carla has to kind of mother her and nag her to get her to do things because she's not confident in herself. But as the show goes on, she becomes confident and independent and stuff like that. So maybe she needed confidence to access that. I think I would think maybe that's it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Actually, I have like 40 questions, but I was like, I need to definitely cap this. I did you.
Oh, you're right, I didn't get a hug. Take it off the paper.
If you want, you can take it off the stage.
Take it off.
Or yell.
Oh, she's got it.
Oh, all right.
There you go.
Hi.
Yeah, it's working, it's working.
You got it.
If you need a moment, we'll save your place of mind and you can totally think about it.
You got it.
You want to come up here, or would that make you more nervous?
I have no idea.
I tell you what, when you think of what you wanted to ask, come back up.
Just because I'm up here now. If you guys could be in any other guild besides Fairy Tale, which one would you be in?
Oh.
Well, definitely not the Kate Shelter Guild.
Oh gosh, what was the name of the guild that Gajil and Juvia were in before they switched?
Phantom Lord.
Phantom Lord. I would have liked to have been a Phantom Lord. I got to adapt those scripts and I really liked writing for Monsieur Soul. I got to use my little bit of French that I know. So I would have liked to have been in that guild. We could speak French, it'd be awesome.
I don't know either her. I would never leave Fairy Tale. Fairy Tale forever.
They're Fairy Tale diehards.
I feel like after like the Kate Shelter Guild thing, I don't think I'd trust anybody else. Because they might not be real.
Spoiler for anyone who's never seen Fairy Tale.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi Monica, it's nice to see you here. And who's your favorite person to work with besides obviously the people who are here?
Obviously.
These guys obviously are awesome. And like I've told people before, it has a lot to do with the people that you know. For instance, I've known Brittany since she's like 14 years old, something ridiculous like that. Chris I've known for 20 years, you know, Chris Patton, Greg Ayers, Jade we've known forever, Lucy Christian. The people that I have relationships outside of the anime world that I consider friends, I think those are the easiest and the most fun to play with. Because when you're in there and we're recording individually, sometimes I'm the first one in and they won't be there. But I've worked with these ladies so long, I can almost hear Jade or Brittany in my head. This sounds really crazy, just go with me. I can hear how they're gonna read their line or how I think they're gonna read their line, so then I know how to deliver my line, so it makes everybody's jobs more easy, because we all are familiar with our styles and how we deliver lines usually as a character. So anybody that's like a really good friend of mine, which is a lot of people, but those are my favorites.
I always have a lot of fun whenever they put me in shows with Austin Tyndall, playing opposite of him. Like, for some reason, they always let me like kick him around and insult him. And I enjoy that a lot. That's really fun for me. Yeah.
Because I love working with you. Who's really funky to listen to and fun? I remember when I first heard, when I went in to record with Michiko and Hatchin, I did not know that was Monica. And I've known her more than half of my life. So that was so impressive and amazing to me, and I just was like, dang girl, get it? I was so excited. I was like stomping everywhere. They're like, stop making noise. I don't know, it was amazing to me, and I was really impressed. Lately, I like hearing Blake Shepherd. He is cracking me up. Like, just his pitches and stuff with Monster Hunter, he was hilarious. I don't know if anyone saw Monster Hunter stories, but Blake Shepherd's character rides a fat pig, and he's really fat, and his character is, and it's just watch it. It's so good.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I think I have two questions, but what was it like working on Pop Team Epic?
The best.
Yeah, it's weird. It's real weird, y'all. Who's watching it? Who's seen it? Who's seen Pop Team? Okay, if you haven't seen Pop Team, it is on Cartoon Network on Toonami on Saturdays. It's weird. I had a great time working on it.
I loved it, and I mean, when it came out, like, and I found out who was directing, I reached out because I was really excited about how weird it was, because I loved how weird it was. And then I got to sing. We dubbed the songs, and so I got to sing with Caitlin Glass in the like Earth, Wind, and Fire remake of Pop It Together as those characters. It was real fun, y'all.
It's really exciting, and like, it's so random that it was fun to do. Because you were like, oh wait, what are we doing now? Wait, what? With who? What? Plus I got to do it with Lucy, and that's always fun.
Yeah, I'll never think of Marilyn Monroe the same way ever again. That's all I will say. If you haven't seen that, I'm in episode 5, and it's me and Jeremy.
You and Jeremy.
And there's a scene where they just say, Marilyn Monroe! And my character is like, and her head is like moving around the screen. And I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go with this. But yeah, it's fun. It was definitely different.
Previously working on like a bunch of episodes at once for DVD release and then going over to broadcast dubs.
Well, I mean, the main difference is we go in weekly now. So like before we would have like, they'd call and say, hey, we're gonna need you for 14 hours for all 12 episodes of this show. And then you'd have like a month and a half to decide where you wanted to do your 14 hours. Whereas now they'll be like, hey, we need you for 8 hours on Tuesday for this one episode, or for 18, and that's the other thing, you go from studio to studio. We used to just like finish a show, go to maybe another studio that day. Now you like studio bounce, because everybody needs you for their little bit that week. So that's been a change. What else for you guys?
It's been exciting because there's been more work.
Yeah.
More to do, and like more roles to play around with, and more shows coming in, so it's kind of added in that way. But yeah, it does make it so that sometimes you feel like you can never leave. You can never go on vacation or do anything ever. Yeah, so you got to be careful, because it is like a weekly broadcast type situation, and every 3 months, all new shows come out. Yeah.
be available. Like I have to know that I need a babysitter one day a week, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, we got 10 minutes left, so let's try to keep it to one question per person.
All right. Well, this is another question that I have. So, this is compared to the studios of Funimation and Sentai Filmworks because I know you guys did some voice acting roles, especially my favorite ones, especially Monica, you especially voicing Sue in My Hero Academia. Love that girl, man. She's awesome. Mikoto Misaka from A Certain Magical Index. And also Kana from Dragon Maid, which is very cute and lovely. So anyway, so I know you guys both work for Funimation and Sentai Filmworks, and it's interesting, you know, how both of these companies, they've emerged. Like, Funimation is right now one of the largest anime studios, and they're now owned by Sony, while Sentai Filmworks is a privately held company that also distributes anime shows like Funimation. And I know you did some work for Sentai as well, like Infinite Stratos with Monica Rial, Food Wars with Jad Saxton, and also Flip Floppers with Brittany Karbowski. So
And all three of those.
Yeah, I know. Like, so why do you think, like, how you guys, you know, how you guys do, what do you enjoy the most of your roles that both working for Funimation and Sentai, and how you think that Funimation and Sentai, you know, help thrive the anime industry?
I think that both places are a lot of fun. For those of you that don't know the big secret, Sentai is basically ADD.
Yeah.
Just all the same people. They just went, we're gonna change our names and nobody's gonna know. So for me and Brittany, that was home. That's where we started. That's kind of like, that will always be my home studio, no matter how much I do at Funimation. That's kind of like, you know, but Funimation did save my hide, because then when ADB kind of went, they're like, hey, you want to come up here? I'm like, yes. So, I mean, I think both are great. I'm glad that they're both prosperous. I think that competition in the market is good. We need as many companies around as possible so that you guys get the best deals and the best prices and all that stuff and the best anime. But yeah, I like both. Why not both, as the meme goes?
I like both. I think they both have value, and I mean, for me, I'm an actor, and I go where the acting gigs are, and I like to play characters wherever they are, and it's all good people. It's all the same people a lot of the time, because it's so, in Texas, it's not too much of a drive from Houston to Dallas, so it's not bad at all.
It's a lot of the same people. It's definitely home. It's Sentai, but I've never, you know, I love going to Funimation and working. I don't ever not like working. So it's like I'm always very happy to be there. Maybe too happy, but maybe awkward happy. But I don't know. I guess they both do a really awesome job.
Yeah.
They both really care about the shows, and they're trying to put out the best product possible for you guys. You know. But yeah, I just like acting, so I like going in and working either place, anywhere.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to try and do like a lightning round where we go through them as quickly as possible? So maybe we can try to get
Lightning round, go.
Woo!
Hi.
Hi.
I know that we were only limited to one question at a time, but I've got something for each of the three of you. For starting out with Ms. Rial, I am aware that you were play the titular role of Misaki Aizawa in Maid Sama. So I was wondering if I could do an impersonation of the scene where Usui found out that Misaki was a maid.
Can you do it like really, really quick so we can get the other folks too?
I can try. Well, this is a surprise, Miss President. Usui, talk of me.
Very nice. It's good that you didn't hurt your throat.
And as for you, Ms. Karbowski and Ms. Saxton, I am aware that your roles as Wendy and Carla are very well known. And so, as Ms. Rial mentioned earlier, she was in Tales of Berseria. And whenever I think about it, I imagine you two being two new party members. Ms. Karbowski playing the role of a young girl named Wendy, who would be a tomboy martial artist, and Ms. Saxton playing the role of Claudine, an elder 59-year-old aristocratic woman who wields fans in combat. I know it sounds weird, but I hope that there will be the day where you two will actually work on that.
Here's hoping. I'd love
That'd be
to have
cool.
them join me.
That lady sounds rad.
Thank you so much. How much time do we have? Do we have like 5 minutes? Or?
We have 5 minutes. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go fast. So you guys ask your questions fast. That way we can get to all of you.
Hey, I don't know if you three understand Bleach.
I've never watched Bleach.
Never
Seen
watched.
it. I know Clorox. I know Johnny Young Bosch is in it.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Okay, I have a question for Bulma.
Yes.
What do you think of Dragon Ball Z Amber's?
Oh, I haven't seen it. I know all those guys, and they're very nice, but I haven't seen any Dragon Ball Z Bridge. I'm sorry.
Well, in Dragon Ball Z Amber's, Bulma always gets mad at Krillin.
I get mad at everybody. That's all. But thank you, sweetie. Let's move on so we can get everybody.
Hi, Monica.
Yes.
Thank you again for the tip, Cynthia, earlier at the panel. I was so happy to hear
Oh
that.
yeah, you guys, just for FYI, Cynthia Kranz, who plays Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball and a whole bunch of other things, she's here. She's in the dealer's room in like booth 1800.
1800, like
So,
towards the opposite
go
end.
find her. But sorry, go ahead.
This question is meant for everybody, but this is an interesting question. It's the zombie apocalypse, and not including High School of the Dead and Corpse Princess. Which character, through all the characters you provided the voice for, if you had to rely on their skills to survive, what character comes to mind?
Probably. She could kill some zombies.
Carla, she can fly. Like, so that's awesome.
And I would just be Wendy and hold on to her.
Dang it.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Alright, make this really quick. I just had a brain fart, but I don't know what I'm saying. If Yama and Miyano would meet Yukari Sendo, how would they act as classmates?
I'd probably just say, I want you to be my girlfriend! Because that's, she wants everybody to be her girlfriend.
She'd be like, are you a cherry boy? I'm down.
And I would just bake them treats.
I like that a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. I just wanted to know, since you guys are all inside fairy tale, were like any of the characters that you had, did you have a moment where you, Jesus Christ, I can't think, where you had a moment where you're surprised about what your character was doing or like what happened?
Oh yeah. I don't know how to say it without spoiling the movie for everyone. So I don't know if I should, but there was a moment in Dragon Cry where I was like, really? This happens? Wow. I had no idea that was gonna happen. I never thought we would see that. It's to do with Carla.
Yeah, that was surprising, and I think a lot of fans kind of had spoiled it to me to begin with, but it was sort of, yeah, it was a shocking moment. And I also think, you know, when we finally see Carla getting emotional and happy and stuff like that, that was really surprising.
Oh, for me, I would say probably Meroxus. Like, everybody ships Mira Jane and Loxus. And they never talked to each other, and then all of a sudden in the Grand Magic game, she's there by his bedside holding his hand. You guys, I'm really sorry, but I think we're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time. Where can we find you all on social media?
Oh, I'm Twitter. On Instagram and Twitter, I am at Rialisms, RIALISMS.
I'm on Twitter at JB Saxton and on Instagram at Jaderade.
I am B. Karbowski on Twitter, and you can follow me on Instagram, but you're just gonna see a bunch of pictures of my baby, and that's B-Dubs Carbo.
And if you guys, yeah, if you have a question, honey, since you didn't get to ask yours,